Hey everyone, my name is Denise of Sugar and Spice Tarot, otherwise known as Sugar and Spice, on Instagram, Twitter, all the fields. Anyway, so I'm super awkward in front of a camera, and this reading is my first attempt at the YouTubes and interwebs or whatever. So bear with me, I'm gonna try my best here. I want to call these sessions group therapy, and honestly, the only reason I'm doing this is because I promised the higher forces that I would before I completely said that it wasn't for me. So I don't know that I'll be doing more of them, but if you want more of them, just let me know if it resonates and all that. Anyway, I'm calling it group therapy. And I'm calling it group therapy because these are going to be collective readings for the masculines, the feminines, and just like the collective overall. Mostly because I'm a chismosa and I love to know what the tea is. And I've been kind of going through it this month. I've taken some emotional hits, and a lot of you in my DMs have shared the same story. So, this is kind of my attempt to satisfy that curiosity of mine and ask, well, why? Why are we suffering for the month of June? So, hopefully, this will bring us some answers and make us see things from an elevated perspective rather than taking everything as a personal attack and being like, my life sucks and God hates me or whatever. So yeah, let's get to it, because I honestly hate long videos, so I want to make this like as short as possible. I just want to get this over with. All right, Mom, gotta do your thing, Mama. Oh yeah, I talk to my tarot decks while I do readings, so like I just ignore me. Cool. All right, let's do it. What is the lesson for the collective for the month of June? What lesson should we aspire as a collective to master in the month of June? All right, so we've got the Six of Pentacles, the Magician, and Death. Interesting. So essentially, for the collective, it's all about elevating ourselves and challenging ourselves to put energy where our energy is matched and to rescind energy where the energy is not matched. I honestly feel like this is more for the ladies than it is for the men. If your relationships are not matching up to your standards, if your partner has stopped trying and you feel ignored or you feel taken for granted, that's what it is. Taken for granted. That's what we feel, is taken for granted. If you're at a job that is thankless and takes you for granted, it's time to rescind energy. It's time to pull back. Now, don't be shady about it and don't tell your partner. And I'm 100% there with you, because this is a conversation I had to have with some of the people I love. But if you feel your energy isn't matched, then it's okay to rescind that energy, and it's okay to demand more of your relationships without guilt. We're shifting with the Magician and the Death card. The world is changing very quickly. So rather than trying to fix the external circumstances that are happening all around us, the month of June is more of only worrying about the things that we can control. In particular, for the feminines, it seems like speak until spoken to is a good mantra for the month of June. Why? Because you already voiced what your problem is. You already voiced your concerns, and unfortunately, your energy is consistently not met. And so rather than bringing up the argument and expending that energy, it's time to allow your silence and your absence to speak louder than anything else would. So yeah, It seems for the collective in general, we're in a period of transition. And the wake up call for us in June is that we need to start choosing better, making better choices, making different choices. Now, with the magician is, first of all, my birthday card, so I'm very familiar with his energy. It's the magician. Yeah. So he holds all four elements of the tarot in his hands. He holds the swords, wands, cups, and pentacles, meaning, well, you know what it means, the elements: earth, air, fire, water. So the magician, what his strength is that he bends reality to his will. That means using your emotions, using your passions, using your physical strength, using your words even to create the reality in which you want to live in. And I know for a lot of you are going to be like, wow, this is like super cosmic mumbo jumbo or whatever. But it's not. It's really not, because I mean, you've heard it your whole life. You think positive, you get positive. It can really be that simple. But the point is, a lot of you forgot to take ownership of your life. You get to decide in the morning how your day goes. And it seems like somewhere along the line we lost sight of that and we just let the day happen to us instead. So we're getting down to the wire. We're in the last 6 months of the decade, guys. So the choices we make now set us up for the next 8 to 10 year cycle. So that's why the June has probably confronted you with every fear that you have. Fear of instability, fear of breakups, fear of not having any money. You're probably going through literally all of that and more, because and you should be grateful for it, for your suffering, honestly, because now you can do better. Because it's being put in your face. And the first step to fixing a problem is knowing that you have one. So take this as an opportunity to do better and make better decisions. Be a more active participant in your life. You're not just meant to wake up, go to work, pay bills, and die. That's just not how, that's living on autopilot. And with this reading, the collective lessons of June is to help us take more ownership of our lifestyles, take more ownership over our day-to-day life. What decisions are we making that reflect the person we wanted to be when we grew up? And what choices are we doing that are costing us our joy, our integrity? Why are we lying to ourselves and selling our hours of the day for money? You know, you might have a good reason, but the point is you have to have that conversation with yourself first. So for the collective, it's about putting energy where energy is being put into you, allowing absence and silence to speak louder, and taking this period of transition, all these false starts, all these delays going on, all these health issues, health issues, and allowing them to bring to light the issues that we need to face head on so that we can make better decisions moving forward for the rest of the year and set ourselves up for success in the next decade of our lives. So there's that. Now we're going to do the ladies, because the ladies have my heart and I love you guys so much. I've never seen an ugly woman in my life, and I probably never will, because all of us are perfect. Alrighty, for my ladies. What is the lesson for the feminines this June? What lesson would Spirit like us to master for the month of June, feminines? Tell me more. Oh, tea. Tea. This is so exciting. What? Tea. Yes. Oh, fuck yeah. I live for this. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Well, I don't care. Anyway, for the feminines out there, I was talking about being an active participant. Yeah, it's mostly for us. It's mostly for us ladies. Stop waiting for emotional validation to fall out of your man's lips and just start giving it to yourself, mama. Because blessings don't just fall out of the sky, sister. It's something that you have to consciously do the work to receive and be ready. Because let me tell you, feminines, if I gave you $1,000,000 right now, if you won the lotto right now, it's a recipe for disaster because it's literally self-sabotage. You would not know what to do with those racks. Why? Because we're dealing with a lot of feelings of unworthiness, with a lot of feelings like, well, if I work harder, I'll deserve more attention. I'll deserve more emotional investment and commitment from my relationships. If I just blah blah blah. You're being ambitious for no reason, mama. We can't continue giving so much of ourselves in the name of our loved ones just to make ourselves feel better. We are worthy of emotional commitment. We're worthy of being desired just for the simple fact that we exist and that we were born and we deserve to be worshipped as such. And it seems like we've lost sight of that. It seems like we've lost sight of that, and half of us are hiding the fact that we want more from the men in our lives, that we want more from our jobs, that we just want more. It seems like we're hiding that because it's not in us to be boisterous and to be loud and to be demanding that we want it, so come hither. Rather than feeling guilt and not wanting to voice those things for fear of starting a fight or for fear of being a burden. It seems like a lot of the feminines feel like they don't want to rough the waters because they don't want to be a burden. They don't want to be anybody's victim. They don't want all that attention on them. And so they just settle. Spirit is telling us we're done settling. The world is changing very quickly, and thankfully it's changing in our favor, ladies. We have a lot more say today than we ever have. So use it because, the circumstances are such that we can. So don't rob yourself. It's a disservice to yourself and everyone connected to you if you are not happy. If you are not happy, if the feminine is not happy, she cannot be of helpful service to everyone else. So with the King of Wands here, the Emperor, and the Seven of Pentacles, it's all about getting some big dick energy. That's what it is. It's about growing a big dick out of nowhere and really owning it this time and really being accountable for our own healing, not being anybody's victim, not being anybody's boss. To be completely honest, we don't have to be the boss of anybody, but we do have to be accountable for ourselves and our own healing. And nobody is going to know how we feel if we don't tell them. So if you felt powerless thus far in the month of June, it's actually the opposite. You feel powerlessness so that you know what it's like to bring back your power. You're being put in situations in which you feel helpless, in which you feel silenced and censored, and you're like, oh, like, I feel guilty for asking more, like, I shouldn't, he already does so much. That's done. That's done. You can't run away from the things you feel. And our power as feminines is to really own that. And that's what the King of Wands and the Emperor is, making decisions and sticking to them. Being able to look the people that we love in their eyes and say, what you're doing is not enough. I need more. And being okay with that. Now, I'm not saying like leave your husbands entirely or anything like that, but I am saying that you need to have those conversations with the people that you love, so that you stop feeling like the weight of the world is always on you. To stop feeling like if you don't do something, no one will do it. Nobody will step in to help. That narrative is done. We need to get away from that, and we need to be more decisive, and we need to honestly be a little more selfish. Start putting ourselves first. When we put ourselves first, when we put our desires, not needs, desires, which are just as valid as our needs, that's when everybody heals. Because when the feminine heals, we heal everyone connected to us. And that's just facts, sis. All right, for the men. What is the collective lesson in June for the masculines? T. Tell me more. Honestly, go ahead and tell me all you want because this is real tea. And I'm super into it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bruh. Damn, they did some of us feminines hella dirty. Alright, boys. What's the lesson for the masculine collective? All right, well, do you have any one card guidance for the male collective this month of June? Now that we know what their problem is? All right, man. You guys have a really bad habit of wanting to do everything in the most difficult way possible. You love struggling just to prove that you earn something. So you're now you really are on your own when it comes to spiritual guidance. They're like, yeah, no. They can have patience, but that's about it. We're not gonna send them any kind of help. So a drag. Anyway, a lot of you are in love. A lot of you are in love and feeling like fuck ups, which honestly is kind of justified with the way you treated your girl, with the way you trapped her, with the 8 of Swords and the 6 of Swords here. It seems like your girl has very much moved on. She has freed herself, not without her trust issues though. So congrats, because that's what you did to her. Not well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm a femme, so I had to make you feel bad for a little bit there. But the good news is y'all are finally coming into an understanding of that, into understanding that perhaps the woman that is demanding more of you is elevating you. It's so much easier to make her your enemy and say that she doesn't get it, that she doesn't understand the pressures that you're under, that she doesn't, have the same problems that you do, all of which may be true, but it is so much easier to make the people we love an enemy when all they're trying to do is elevate us. And unfortunately, the burden of the feminine is to elevate you anyway, even if you hate us for it. And so for the masculines, the opposite of death, I guess I shouldn't say opposite, but with the death reversed and the lovers reversed, don't touch her. Like, don't go after her. You are not there yet. You haven't made the significant changes enough to deserve the girl that you sent packing to begin with. What you need to do instead, what your advice is, stop playing God and making decisions. This is the 2 of Swords, by the way. Stop playing God and making decisions for this woman. That's another way of controlling her. If you're going to reach out to her, don't reach out to her already feeling defeated, like, oh, she's never going to take me back. You are making decisions for her at that point. Stop. Stop trying to control her. Stop trying to control everything. Control your damn self, first of all. Anyway. And second, learning. This is the 5 of Swords. There you are. Okay. It's about learning self-discipline for the men. It's about accountability and responsibility. Not getting ahead by crushing everybody else underneath you. Not suppressing the things that you feel. Rather, fully expressing them instead, because that helps the feminine be a lot more compassionate for you. It helps everyone be more compassionate for you. It helps people see you and want to help you. And you need help, because if you didn't, God would have just made one of us. But there's millions and millions and millions. So what you need to do is start conquering your ego, your anxieties. Put it aside, and for the men, that's all it is. You got to conquer your own ego, your own fears, your own anxieties. Step the fuck up, Kyle. Step the fuck up. That's a Vine reference, by the way. Yeah, and really admit that you have some issues. You have some issues, and one of them being fear of abandonment, the other fear of not reaching fullest potential, and fear of intimacy. Ooh, fear of intimacy is a big one for you guys. This month of June, y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta get intimate with yourselves before you reach out to your girl. So that's it. That's your collective reading. I wanted to keep this under 20 minutes, so I tried. I can't really get hyper specific when it comes to these readings because they're so broad. So maybe I'll try the signs next time, and get real, like, full fucking drag on you guys. But that's it. I hope it helped make sense of why it is that you're suffering so that it doesn't feel less personal and difficult for you anymore. Let me know if you want more of these. Let me know if it helped bring you some clarity. Just let me know, because if not, I'm genuinely not going to do these anymore because I hate talking to cameras. I feel super weird. Anyway, that was it. Book a private reading with me if you want me to really go off. And yeah, that's it. Toodaloo.